Disclaimer: this audio recording includes subtitles so you can follow along more intentionally and absorb the ideas at your own pace. What if I told you that everything you've ever known, your memories, your emotions, your entire reality, is nothing more than code? Not a metaphor. Literal code, running inside a machine you'll never see, controlled by beings you'll never meet. You think you're breathing air right now? You think you're hearing this with your ears? You think you're choosing to watch this? What if you're not? What if every second of your life has already been written, pre-rendered like a scene in a game, and you're just playing through it? There are cracks in this world, little glitches, strange limits, eerie patterns that most people ignore. But once you see them, you can't unsee them. Scientists, philosophers, billionaires, they're starting to whisper the same terrifying question. What if this isn't real? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may not look at your world or yourself the same way again. Before we start, if you're the kind of person who loves questioning the world, challenging assumptions, and seeing things from new angles, hit that like button to boost the convo, and subscribe so you don't miss the deep stuff we're dropping here. Because we're just getting started. Imagine waking up one day and realizing your entire world, everything you see, feel, believe, isn't real. Not in the dream sense, but in the digital sense. What if you are inside a simulation? It sounds like science fiction, but some of the brightest minds in philosophy, physics, and technology say we should take this idea seriously. In this video, we're going to break down the simulation hypothesis step by step. We'll explore the logic, science, real-world examples, and counter-arguments. And by the end, you might just walk away thinking, this might be the most likely explanation for our existence. The simulation hypothesis proposes a simple, yet radical idea. What we experience as reality may actually be an incredibly sophisticated computer simulation created by an advanced civilization. Think of it like this. Just as we create video games and virtual environments, a far more advanced civilization could simulate entire worlds, even ones containing conscious beings like us. Philosopher Bostrom was one of the first to formalize this idea in a now famous 2003 paper. And Elon Musk, he once said there's a 1 in billions chance we're living in base reality. But let's not just name drop. Let's go deeper. Bostrom laid out the simulation hypothesis as a trilemma. He says one of the following must be true. 1. Civilizations like ours go extinct before they can create realistic simulations. 2. Civilizations choose not to simulate conscious beings. 3. We're almost certainly living in a simulation. If number 1 is true, it means every advanced civilization destroys itself before reaching simulation-level technology. If number 2 is true, it means even if they could, they just wouldn't simulate ancestors, like us. But if neither of those is true, and civilizations can and do run simulations, then number 3 becomes extremely likely. Why? Because a single base reality could spawn millions, maybe billions, of simulated ones. And if that's the case, the chances of us being in the one real universe? Statistically near zero. Let's look at where we are today. We're already simulating entire worlds. Games like The Sims simulate lives. Red Dead Redemption, Flight Simulator. These are vast digital environments with complex physics. With AI and VR, we're beginning to simulate behavior, emotion, even rudimentary consciousness. Now fast forward 1,000 or 10,000 years. Imagine a civilization with technology so advanced it could simulate entire worlds, right down to the quantum level. If it's possible, why wouldn't they do it? For research? For entertainment? For preservation? And here's the kicker. If they run even a few billion simulations, then most conscious beings, like you and me, are almost certainly living inside one of them. Here's something to chew on. The universe runs on math. Everything, from the orbit of planets to the spin of electrons, follows precise mathematical laws. Think about that. It's as if the universe is running on code. Constants like the speed of light, gravitational strength, Planck's constant, they don't vary. They're hard-coded into reality. In a simulation, a programmer sets the rules. In our universe, the rules are already written. So, who or what wrote them? Now it gets stranger. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in a superposition, multiple states at once. But when observed, they collapse into a definite state. Why would reality only settle into one outcome when we look at it? It's eerily similar to how a computer game works. It only renders what's on screen. Everything outside your field of vision, it doesn't exist until you turn your head. Could the universe be using the same optimization trick? Is the world being rendered when we observe it? In computing, there are limits. Processing power, memory, pixel resolution. Our universe? Same thing. The speed of light is the maximum speed limit. Nothing can exceed it. Why? The Planck length is the smallest measurable distance. Space can't be divided further. Why? It's almost like reality has a resolution, a pixel size. What if these are the constraints of the simulation? Ever had déjà vu? That eerie feeling that you've lived this exact moment before? It could be psychological, sure, but in programming, that's called a loop, a piece of code accidentally repeated. People report strange coincidences, glitches, Mandela Effects, memories that don't match reality. It's not proof, but it adds to the eerie pattern. If the simulation is complex, glitches are bound to happen, just like in any system. Now, let's be fair. The simulation hypothesis has its critics. Some say there's no evidence. Response: a perfect simulation would hide that fact. That's part of the design. Others say it's untestable. True, mostly. But some physicists propose looking for pixelation in space-time or high-energy anomalies, signs of computational boundaries. Still others ask, even if it's true, does it matter? And that is a question only you can answer. Let's review. We're creating simulations now. Math governs everything. Quantum behavior matches rendering logic. Reality has clear limits. We might be experiencing glitches. And logically, simulated beings would vastly outnumber real ones. If it looks like a simulation, behaves like a simulation, is it so far-fetched to consider that it is a simulation? But here's the twist. If we are in a simulation, it doesn't diminish our lives. Love still matters. Art still inspires. Kindness still counts. Maybe even more so, because someone chose to simulate this. Maybe your experience is the point. So, are we living in a simulation? No one can say for sure, but the clues are piling up, and the question itself might be more important than the answer. Because questioning our reality forces us to see it more clearly. And maybe, just maybe, that's what we were meant to do all along. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Do you think we're living in a simulation? Was there a moment in this video that made you question your reality, even for a second? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you've got a theory, a question, or an idea for what we should explore next, leave that too. Let's dive down this rabbit hole together. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more deep dives into faith, philosophy, and the questions that shape our lives. Thanks for watching, and keep thinking.